Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're doing well because I sure as hell am not. I have to talk about this because if I don't, I might genuinely go insane. I might light a few candles, get nice and comfortable, and then take a bath with a toaster. I might go diving with an anchor, or I might just run into a wall head first again because this is ridiculous. Alex Pereira potentially facing Jon Jones at the UFC White House card might legitimately be the dumbest shit I have ever heard in my life, and believe me, I've heard some interesting things. And the only way this makes sense is from Jon Jones' point of view. Because from the UFC's point of view, this looks like horseshit. This looks like monkey ass. Jon wants this fight. We all actively saw Jon Jones ducking Tom Aspinall for 2.5 years. That's not an opinion. That's a fact. And the only people disagreeing with that fact are Jon Jones fans. However, the rest of us can see clearly, we're not delusional, we try and stay objective. Jon Jones ducked Tom Aspinall. And it makes sense why he did it. Because Jon knew for a fact, if he fought Tom Aspinall, he would have lost. His undefeated record would have died. Because it would have been the first time in Jon Jones' UFC career where he fought someone who isn't only well-rounded, but is physically bigger than Jon Jones is. Physically bigger. Because I'm not dismissing that Jon Jones has fought high-level competition, complete fighters if you will. However, none of them were physically bigger than Jon Jones. None of them were able to overpower Jon. None of them were able to basically bully Jon Jones. Not Lyoto Machida, not Vitor Belfort, not Rampage, not DC, Shogun, Hua, Gus, name them, Rashad Evans. They're all smaller than Jon Jones. And Jon Jones is also an exceptional fighter, so it makes sense that Jon beat all of them. I'm not saying there's not a risk involved, there's always a risk involved. Jon knew the risks heading into every single fight. Also, for some of them, Jon was on PEDs and hookahs. That's plus 10 advantage. PEDs plus 4, hookahs 7 plus 7. So that's a plus 11 advantage for Jon Jones heading into that fight. Jon knew that a lot of these guys had nothing for him. Nothing. If Jon fought Tom, he's fighting a guy, or he would have fought a guy that is well-rounded because he has insane Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and he has good striking, and he would have been bigger and he would have been able to bully Jon Jones. This is not Tom Aspinall glazing, okay? This is just me trying to be objective. This is not some deep throat level glazing. Tom Aspinall has really good grappling, really good wrestling, and has bombs in his hands. Curtis Blades, gone. Marcin Tybura, gone. Sergey Pavlovich, gone. Volkov, gone. Spivak, gone. Arlovsky, gone. First round finishes. Tom Aspinall is basically taking a smoke break, and in that smoke break, he beats a UFC heavyweight. It's like he has a job, takes a smoke break. That's how quick those fights tend to end. Because Tom Aspinall might just be different. And Jones' reasoning behind not fighting Tom Aspinall, because Jones said it doesn't add to his legacy. But somehow beating Alex does. If you can convince me that this makes sense, that what Jon Jones said made sense, you might be one of the smartest people in the world. You might be a wizard, Harry. Because there's no way you can think that beating Alex adds to your resume, however beating Tom doesn't. There's nothing that Alex has that Tom doesn't have. Now, we can say, well, Alex Pereira might be one of the best light heavyweights of all time. Tom Aspinall might be one of the best heavyweights of all time. It wouldn't take a lot to become the best heavyweight of all time, because the most heavyweight defenses of all time is 3. So Tom is already a part of that narrative. Tom Aspinall might be the best undisputed UFC interim champion of all time. Heavyweight. Might just be. Alright, that's not my opinion. I mean, he defended an interim belt. So that says a lot if we talk about legacy. But there's no way you could justify Jon Jones saying if he beats Pereira, it adds to legacy. However, if he beats Tom, it doesn't. That is the worst explanation I've ever heard in my life. If you believe that, then you genuinely might be senile. Then you might need to lay off the bath salts, because brother, it is affecting you in a way that I couldn't even describe. Now before I go to the UFC's point of view, Jon knows that accepting this fight, he's going into this fight with a massive advantage. His wrestling, his grappling against Alex Pereira, who we all know, if we can see it, you don't think Jon sees it? If we know Alex has sus wrestling and grappling, takedown defense, grappling defense, you don't think Jon knows it? Jon Jones knows if he steps foot inside that octagon against Alex Pereira, he has a big chance of beating Alex. Basically in the same manner he beat Cyril Gane. And doesn't that kind of give you a clear reason why he didn't want to step inside of the octagon against Tom Aspinall? That tells you everything you need to know. Jon Jones knows he has a genuine shot at beating Alex, and he knew he didn't at beating Tom. It's simple. I don't even have to be a fan of Tom Aspinall to know that is the case. It's basic mathematics. And now from the UFC's point of view, right? The UFC encouraging or enabling this is somewhat of an indictment on the UFC. It is. Because by doing this, by encouraging Alex to fight Jon, by enabling Alex to fight Jon, they're kind of diminishing their own champion in Tom Aspinall. And I'm saying Tom Aspinall because Tom beat Cyril Gane. If Tom Aspinall loses to Cyril Gane, then forget everything I just said. And if that happens, I might jump off of a chair with a rope attached to my neck and attached to the ceiling. Because, then everything, then this is for naught. And this would be redundant, alright? The UFC, by enabling and encouraging Alex Pereira versus Jon Jones, they're diminishing Tom Aspinall as the champion. Because they're saying, indirectly, that beating Jon Jones is a greater achievement than beating Tom Aspinall. Now you're thinking, well, fucking duh. Because it's Jon Jones. It's the greatest fighter of all time, right? I get that. And I'm not arguing with that. But they're saying beating Jon Jones is a greater achievement than becoming the first ever 3-divisional champion within the UFC. We have seen thousands and thousands of fighters enter the octagon inside of the UFC, and none of them became a 3-division champion. None. And it hasn't even been close. It hasn't even been attempted. So that's what the UFC is telling you. Beating Jon Jones is more of an achievement than becoming a 3-division champion, something no one has ever even came remotely to achieving. And that's the problem. They're diminishing their own champions, people that are within the organization right now, by promoting someone that basically held them hostage for 2.5 years, had them on a leash, and didn't do dick. The UFC wants Alex Pereira, or is encouraging Alex Pereira versus Jon Jones, and by that is saying, yeah, we think this is more impressive than beating Tom Aspinall. So then, basically, you're not buying the stock in Tom Aspinall if you're the UFC, which is your heavyweight champion, which might be one of the best heavyweight champions on planet Earth. We don't know, but we're talking about potential. No one knew that Alex would be the star within the middleweight division. Guess what? The UFC took a shot. Worked out. He is a star. Take a shot with Tom Aspinall. Might be a star. Might be one of the biggest stars. If he gets more fights. You don't think that Tom's stature and the way fans perceive Tom would have been bigger if Tom actually fought in these 2.5 years instead of waiting for Jon Jones because Jon's full of shit? It would have. But now the UFC is basically justifying what Jon Jones did by enabling him to fight Alex Pereira. They could justify a super fight between one of the best light heavyweights of all time and potentially one of the best heavyweights of all time, make it a super fight. It's at the White House. We will never see something like this in our lives ever again. And they want to give it to Jon Jones. It is insane. And I'm not a Jon Jones hater, okay? I don't wake up every morning and think, oh, this is a great day to hate Jon Jones. It's about moving forward. We're past Jon Jones. Why are we encouraging this? Who wants to see Alex Pereira versus Jon Jones? If I want to see it, it's because I want to see Jon get knocked out. It's not because I'm a hater. It's just because Alex Pereira is still a part of the sport. It would be bigger for Alex. It would be bigger for Tom Aspinall. Jon is done. Leave Jon alone. You hear that, police? Leave Jon alone. Okay? There's only been 3 people to beat Jon Jones. Matt Hamill, Dominic Reyes, and sober driving. Let's leave Jon Jones out of it. Now, from Pereira's point of view, it's on. Because Pereira thinks beating Jon Jones, so it's either one of 2 scenarios. Either Pereira thinks beating Jon Jones is more of an accomplishment than becoming a 3-division champion within the UFC, which I don't think is the case. I think it's also because Pereira knows he has a better chance at beating Jon Jones than Tom Aspinall. He has a better chance at beating Jon Jones rather than beating Tom Aspinall. Because Jon Jones is older, he might not be as twitchy. His chin might not be able to hold up, especially with Alex Pereira's power. Alex has felt good in his last fight. It could be either one. It could be because Alex thinks it's more of an achievement, or Alex thinks he could genuinely beat Jon Jones. And it might be tougher beating Tom Aspinall. And it's just basic deduction. It would be really difficult to beat Tom Aspinall right now, especially if you're a striker. We've seen Sergey Pavlovich hit people before and they go stiff as a ball. They get sent to the father and basically they cease to exist in this realm for a couple of minutes. Pavlovich fights Tom Aspinall, he gets sunk. So I don't think it's because necessarily Alex thinks it's more of an accomplishment if he beats Jon Jones. I just think he genuinely thinks he has a greater shot at beating Jon Jones than beating Tom Aspinall. Beating someone who's out of his prime, way older, out of shape, not as conditioned as Tom Aspinall, doesn't have the striking that Tom Aspinall does. Basically, you have to make sure that you improve your grappling and wrestling defense. That's it. Against Tom, you might get caught. Then you might sleep for a while. So yeah, that's just basically my take on it. If you disagree, I would love to hear in the comment section. If you can convince me that what I said about Jon Jones and the legacy thing, if you can convince me otherwise, the comment section is yours. The floor is open. I don't think you're gonna do it though. I think it's gonna be impossible. But I really appreciate your opinion on this topic. Leave it in the comment section. If you enjoy the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the notification bell. I would really appreciate it. It'd be awesome. You're awesome. Remember to not sleep on the 97 Republic. Remember, do not sleep with your cousin. Cheers.